Man, it's been a long time. That was supposed to sound like Gladys, by the way. Yeah, I've been wanting to p+log for such a long time and haven't been. So, welcome to today's p+log. So many things I wanted to talk about. Just different ideas mainly. And in fact, I even have my laptop. I made notes. Just so I could hit bullet points. But I realized it wouldn't have been as, I don't know. Next time, just know I need to do these p+logs immediately and stop waiting for whatever I was waiting for. Sometimes I wait to just get more ideas to talk about, but then I end up losing that momentum, that direction. Like I wanted to talk about my visit to Johns Hopkins. I do plan to apply there, by the way. I know I stopped talking about it since p+log 40 something, but I will be applying there as a transfer after I attend a Baylor, correct some of those grades, and yeah, get that in check. But I do want to talk about that experience. I went on a tour and an information meeting. I really felt like I fit just because it's the interdisciplinary environment. And the best part I like, really, is that every class is so blended. Because it's based on your interest and you really just build your own. Whereas in a regular university, at least the way they're telling me now, you will only see people in your major the higher you go up. So you don't really get that mix. And knowing what I want to do, I really want that mix. I want to be able to have those overlaps. And I want to engage in that. So I really want to go to Johns Hopkins. It's just a matter of time and work, of course. Besides that, what else did I want to talk about? I wanted to bring a debate about cosmetic beauty, how with technology now we have, with human technology. I will add, I say technology as if it's so totally fine-tuned, but it's not. I wanted to say that it's in the same category as makeup, just with more technology. But the thing about, any technology is there are side effects, kind of like medicine. It's all about being natural. So in conclusion, just natural is the way to go. But shoot, I was supposed to make you think. Sorry, couldn't do that. I also love natural remedies. I was really sick. I think that's why I wasn't p+logging. I was very sick. Yeah, I was very sick, but now I'm better. Had flu. And I don't think I've ever had flu. I think I've been sick, like really sick, but I haven't had flu. So that was an amazing experience to know that my body could go through all of that. But going back to the makeup thing, I did want to talk about some makeup ideas I have, just because I do like makeup, but once again, I like natural things, and I think I would want to, if I sell any product, it would be the idea of enjoying what's natural, and giving people confidence in what they have naturally, as well as motivating them to push themselves to be their best naturally. So yeah, that could be in clothes, that could be in beauty, that can be in knowledge, of course, but all those things. Not relying too much on technology to be there for us. But that's that. What else did I want to talk about? I think that's it. I mean, I rode the bus. met somebody, not that, it's not a big deal that I met somebody, but yeah, took a cool photo thanks to that person. I don't really remember his name, but yeah, it was cool. Oh, and then I wanted to talk about Michael Jackson. I just want to come forward. I am a huge Michael Jackson. Well, I don't know whether it's past or present at this point. Because I'm not someone who can, when actively thinking of his life. I mean, we're all human, we're all fallible, but still, it's just really tough. But I've always been someone who believed that Michael Jackson didn't do anything wrong. Whether it's true or false, it does make me sad whenever I think about Michael Jackson now. I used to just think about how he's been for me with his music in the Jackson 5 and so on, but I can't say that anymore. Not to say that everyone's perfect. No human celebrity is perfect. It's kind of why they're mortal and everything. But I think what saddens me the most is just how he has publicly made it for people who are with kids. And I say this for myself personally. I get scared with how people perceive me. Even in this house, I get scared with how people perceive me with kids. And it's because of it's kind of because of him being so famous, him having this one idea of himself and then being accused of another part. So it's like, it's really sad. Oh, by the way, I burned myself earlier. I don't know if you can see. It kind of burned like a paisley at one point, but now it's healing into a different shape, which is cool. We're almost healing completely, which is awesome. But anyways, yeah, that's always been a concern for me, especially being in this house and being older. Yeah. And then also my mom. Yeah, I get really insecure just because it's awkward. And then it's also because my teacher, raised a really good proposal. But let me just give some backstory. Philosophy, okay? One of the forerunners of philosophy is Socrates. He had many ideas, and they weren't all good ideas. Unfortunately, that's part of being human. But one of them was about pedophilia. And there are some of his students who really liked him, and that's really awkward. And I'm going to take this opportunity to admit, when you really do care about someone, it's easy to misplace emotions and feelings. And I think that happens with anybody and anything. But I think the more attractive you find someone or something in someone, the more prone you are to kind of forget what's right or wrong. And this is so weird to admit on camera, because I know people could easily misconstrue this as I find it right, but I don't. But even a student can fall in love with a teacher can fall in love with a student, and it's because there's an exchange happening of needs being met or supplied, and I think it's important as humans to be mindful that we need to respect boundaries and stuff like that. I remember when there was a whole thing that happened in San Antonio. I'm gonna keep it like that. There were some allegations made about another person that I can't say were true or false. I mean, I'm not that person. I can speak for myself. And to say that I liked my teacher, yes. But it's because there was someone who I really trusted in everything, but it wasn't anything like physical. That's the strange thing. It was purely just from conversations and everything. So, it's just important to be mindful as human beings, the value of roles and relationships, for the sake of not corrupting another. Because it's just sad when you can really, because brainwashing can happen. Not to say that I was brainwashed. I don't think I was. But it's so much easier for that to happen. I'm saying so much here, but I'm saying that I've also been on the other side, where I begin to care so much about my cousin, because it's like I'm helping him, you know? And it's very strange, but it's something that I'm aware of and I respect it. And what also helps is by respecting the relationships around that person. This is such a personal p+log today. Ooh. P is for personal on this one. But yeah, it's like, it's really scary. It's really scary in this profession, where you are a teacher, because it's easy to fall into the trap. And I remember when we used to see that stuff on the news, my dad and I, we would see how students are running away with teachers, and we would think it's for something stupid, like for grades or something. Maybe that's just me. At least the kid going with the teachers, because they feel powerful. That's what I thought. But no, it could be a genuine place of caring. And it's just really sad. But once again, let me just go back now. So what I was saying about the professor, who was proposing an idea, saying that pedophilia is a type of sexuality and should be included in the LGBTQ plus, because there's so many letters now. And I agree, because in a sense, it is a sexuality type that is perverted. It is, not that that was his argument. I'm not sure what his argument was, but it's definitely not the norm. It's not one that would allow for procreation. It's not one that is ideal. So, yeah, it should be in that group. And there's that. But then that brings me to, now that I'm thinking about LGBTQ, there was this video on YouTube I watched that really made me think we need to have better programs on TV. It was talking about diversity and double standards in media. And it was mainly focused on how there's double standards for LGBTQ creators or something like that. And that whole thing prompted an idea for me to make a show. And, I mean, I've always liked how Seinfeld is. I've always liked how educational shows can be. But I was really frustrated in the opposite direction now. I was really angry and frustrated with how shows like Degrassi, Andy Mack, which is the modern Degrassi, could be so influential on kids and be just this poor outlet for education, of life education. So it made me think I should, instead of just being mad, I should just make a show. So definitely we'll be making a show. I don't know how, but it'll definitely be about my idea of serendipity. I really do love the concept of serendipity through Elizabeth Jameson Hodges with her book, Three Princes of Serendip. It's the most pure form. It's the form that Horace Walpole uses. Not Elizabeth Hodges, not her. He doesn't use hers, but it's that tale. And the fact that it requires not just luck and not just the will of a human, but really an overall goodwill and a lot of wisdom. So, and then, yeah, fate, because it can't be completely by human control. So, anyways, there will be a show. And I like the idea of calling it the Law of Serendipity, but it could change. Something like that. Anyways. But something that is really educational. But, okay, now that we're on the subject of using media for education, I really, really love stories of the Bible. What else was it, though? I think that's all that can come to mind right now. I think it's just that. Okay, so some backstory. I know I keep doing this, but some backstory. There was a time where my mom was praying for me, and she told me to look up Zipporah. When I looked up Zipporah, there was not a lot on her in the Bible. But one thing that I first latched onto was that she performed an emergency circumcision on her and Moses' way to Egypt. This was in chapter 4. And that was the first thing I clung on to, because it was like remembering the covenant. And not even because you're directly, but because, I don't know, because you're married to someone who is directly linked to that covenant. And this is a person ultimately. So it's like, for me personally, being a single person, and at the time I was really young, and to think, oh, he's gonna be Moses, he's gonna save the world, and I'll help him remember, made me a little crazy. And I think I would love to expand on how really these things come about. But okay, not going back to now more of the Zipporah. Zipporah, I read recently, because I was thinking about relationships again. I think it was because, they were talking to me about how I dress and I need to be ready for marriage or something like that, which I don't think is going to happen now, the marriage part, because I don't know who I want to meet. I don't know who I'm trying to meet. But then I thought about, okay, if I'm like Zipporah somehow, how did Zipporah and Moses meet? And I knew from the movie that there are some like robbers, at least Prince of Egypt, right? There are robbers, and Zipporah was being helped by Moses. So there's that part, and then there's the other version in the Ten Commandments where she's all nice. Oh, and then, but anyways, the point is that Moses saved her first, then she saved him. Whether that whole thing in Prince of Egypt where she goes to Egypt and escapes, blah, 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 I think is made up. I mean, obviously it's not in the Bible. Well, I don't know if it's obvious, but it's not. But we do see him save her there, then she saves him there, because he was going to die. So, it makes me wonder, where did I meet my Moses? And when will I save him? You know? So, using the Bible as a reference for love stories. Someone's coming. Anyways, I like it, and I think we need more Bible literacy.
I'm back.
Hi.
Hi, what are you doing? Am I disturbing?
Not really, I'm just recording a video.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking for this head.
Oh, it's here.
Where is it?
Right there.
Oh, yeah. Not exactly this one.
Oh.
I think it's Michelle's. I'm gonna take a shower.
Okay. I'm almost done. I was just talking to myself as always. Not that you knew. You're kind of new to this, actually.
Oh. Great.
I usually do it when all the kids are out because then I have the quietness and the concentration.
Yeah, that's good. Them, they're a bunch of disturbatives.
Disturbatives. Anyways, yeah. Bible literacy is important. I think we need it more for our generation. With also the understanding that there will be some artistic license taken. But just okay, let me also voice some other concerns. Give me a second, I need to close this door. Oh, are you coming back?
I'm just getting a towel.
Okay. Just close the door when you leave.
Okay.
It helps with quietness. What was it? Oh yeah. So there's another thing that bothers me, which is that I don't know what kind of people I like, and I'm doubting why I like people, why I like certain people. I don't think it's because of race, but I think it is because of race, and I'm concerned because I want to be the most unbiased person, and I believe I am. I've always grown up thinking that I'm not racist. But it's possible. I mean, it obviously is. There's this thing called implicit preference, which is when you're not obviously thinking about what you prefer, but it's there in your subconscious, basically. So you may not be thinking, I wish I look white, but then you maybe have some Euro-centric hairstyles or Eurocentric clothing styles. So it's like something to question. And for me personally, I seem to like a lot of white boys. So that's where I doubt myself. Where am I tying this knot? There we go. Get that. But seriously, I mean, if we were to go from back in the day, although I don't think it's that, my taste has also changed over the past. With what in particular, like, but my first crush, right? This kid from kindergarten. I'll always remember him because we were so playful together. Same. Kevin. And I say the name because I even drew once on a notebook, and my dad was like, "Precious, don't be drawing hearts." So it was funny. Another crush I had was Donovan, a very short kid, short black kid who liked basketball, sold lollipops. Then I also liked, no, I didn't like him. No, that was Christine. Okay, I liked a kid named Josh. Notice I'm not saying the last name. I'm just trying to be neutral. But he was not white. Oh yeah, Kevon, he was mixed. And he went to Hawaii. He was a very happy kid. Like me. I liked him because of that. Josh, I think I liked him because of his eyebrows. And because he was athletic. Then I liked a kid named David. Very old. But he was very rebel-like, you know what I mean? He had a mohawk. I liked him for that. And he had really brown, pretty eyes. I liked him for that. Then, high school. Yeah, I liked very few people at a time. It was like a relationship. But then, yeah, in high school, for the most part, oh yeah, there was one kid that I liked for like freshman year. His name was Tevin. He was black. And he was athletic, and he had a really nice smile. Then I also liked a kid named Eric, who was like Hispanic. He was more, it was just because of his personality, and I felt comfortable. Then, the last person I liked in high school was Brent. I really liked Brent. He was smart. Him and I had a lot in common. A lot in common. He had a girlfriend. But he was white. That's strike one. Then next, in Baylor, I liked Dylan. Also white. Strike two. Then I liked William. Strike three. You can see why I'm concerned. But in each of those three last, white people, I liked them for different reasons. I liked William because he was very free. I liked Dylan because he seemed very Christian. Not that he's not, but I just really liked that he was very Christian on the outside, and I wanted to be really Christian on the outside, so... Poor reasons for liking a boy, by the way. Just because they seem Christian. Looking at my nail because it was done. Made to look like a Barbie. I'm trying to point my toe. Anyways. Lately, there's this one boy that my family, I feel, is trying to set me up with. And I may be jumping the gun here with my estimations. But I definitely feel that's what they're doing. And I don't like him. Whether it's because of circumstances or the fact that he's old or the fact that we just don't have a lot in common, I don't know. But it's just so many odds against him. And that's just too bad. But even when I was in Kenya, there's this one kid followed me like a puppy. Not just when I was at the house. I don't know if Scarlett's going to do something bad. I don't know. Really followed me. But I really liked him. I like his conversations. I don't know if maybe it's because of the fact that I met him when I'm still worried about William. That I can't really like him that well. And even now sometimes, when I think about what I would want, I think about me wanting William. Don't know. I didn't tie it right. Oh, look at that. Anyways. It's complicated. But that's what's been on my mind. So many things. Next time I have things to talk about, I won't do it like this. I will say as much as I can, even if it's one thing. And that's it. But now that I've done this p-log, I'm going to look at YouTube videos about Johns Hopkins. Because for some reason I was trying to do that before, but I didn't want to do it before making the video because I didn't want my video to be influenced by other videos. So yeah, now I'm going to watch Johns Hopkins transfer stuff. Yeah. Okay, thanks for watching. Sorry if you couldn't follow. Bye.